Hi, this is Grant from GrowUp Greenwalls, and as we come to hopefully the end of our COVID lockdown, this is our virtual lunch and learn, just talking about the introduction to Greenwalls and how the GrowUp system can help you deliver great Greenwall projects for your clients. So the intention for today is to show how Greenwalls can be an effective and efficient way to include plants in the built environment. It's important to remember that green walls come in all shapes and sizes. They don't have to be huge, they don't have to be outdoors, they don't have to cover the outside of a building. This is a great example of a very simple white column that's been turned into a beautiful green wall using our system. We start with the smallest of our green walls, being this pre-built stainless steel system, ships in a box and can easily be put onto the wall in any built environment, bringing 21 beautiful plants into an office or a waiting room or a doctor's office, and is a really great way to include plants in the space without taking up any actual floor space. Then going up from that, we have the ability to build custom green walls, pretty much any size, built off site and brought on site like this, where they just screw to the wall. There's no plumbing, there's no real installation work other than the installer, screwing this to the wall and then filling it up with water and looking after it. It uses the same watering system, can be fully automated, and is a great way again to retrofit a green wall into the built environment. Residential and custom size walls, we can do, we do succulents, we do green, all sorts of different patterns, all done with our system, the same modular green wall system, and just softening up an otherwise hard urban space into something that's beautiful and colorful and most importantly living. Commercial green walls are highly in demand at the moment. I think as we move back into shared space again, the feeling of nature, the feeling of a healthy environment almost demands a green wall in most client environments. They help to clean the air and they just make you feel great. And I think that's the key, the really key selling point for the green wall is it's beautiful and it makes people feel great when they're around it. It's a great way to show off your logo, brings real interest and attention to the logo in your foyer, your reception area, your welcome area. Great way to show it off. And then we get to what people typically call green walls, the really big, impressive green walls, all done with our system. On the right, you see this one was done in San Francisco in 2019. It's 30 foot high, 8 foot wide, absolutely beautiful. And that's how it looked within a few days of being installed. The one at the bottom was done in Santa Fe, New Mexico. This picture was taken on the day of installation, just showing how beautiful that wall is. And then this really big one here, nearly 50 feet long, and gorgeous, real feature in that environment. And same system, catch tanks along the bottom, really impressive, easy to do, and beautiful. So points to remember when we're talking about green walls and when you're talking to your client about green walls is you don't have to have a water supply. You can easily retrofit our system into most environments. The modular system means there's no waiting time for stock. We can ship stock immediately. Height and width are really not a limitation. As you go higher, it does make the project more complicated, but they can all be done, and we'll hold your hand through that whole process. We can easily follow curved walls. We can do angles at the top, angles at the bottom, interesting shapes. There's a lot of variety of what we can do, and we have the option to either use our catch tanks to recycle the water and pump it back through the system, or to let that water drain away and connect it directly to a water source and not recycle. So both of those are good options, and each of them are relevant in different environments. So the problems that we solve when we looked at green walls and the whole green wall market is we think green walls, typically the pushback from clients are around a few areas: on-site planting, inorganic design and growing time, the pre-planted panels, which are hard to manage, expensive to do, Complicated hydroponics can make maintenance very difficult. A lot of custom components and fabrication was required, and so it meant you had to have the Greenwall company come out, take measurements, and do a whole lot of customization before the project could be built. And then plants standing in water, it's not a good idea, and for a whole bunch of reasons. And we like the idea that plants shouldn't be standing in water; they should go through their natural wet and dry cycle. How do we do that? On-site planting, construction site can look like this. Given that your green wall is probably one of the last things to go into the project, you really don't want to be doing this when the rest of your finishing has been done, your painting has been done, you've maybe got your flooring in or some carpets in there. You don't want your work site. So we plant off-site, we deliver on-site. This is 2,500 plants being delivered to a project in LA. The plants are carried on site, they're hung on the wall, and you get that instant effect without any mess and fuss. So the other issue that I spoke about is inorganic design, growing time. With plants sitting in long rows, it's very hard, especially early on, to end up with a situation where you aren't seeing the system and the plastic, but you're seeing the plants really showing off to their, to the best of their of what you're trying to achieve. And so these are just some examples of what it can. And if we look at that same project, it's so organic, it's so beautiful, the flow is great, you don't see the system, you can't see the pattern of the system. That's all hidden behind the scenes, and there the plants are all in their bags. There's no soil, there's no water and mess on site as they're being planted. So growing panels in advance takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of time. It means potentially panels are growing for 3 to 4 months off-site before they can be brought on-site. Not everyone has that sort of timing available to them in their projects, and it means that if one panel fails, that whole panel has to be replaced. How do you do that? So we don't do that. Any plant can be replaced. Just take the pot off the wall and swap it out with a new one if a plant fails. We've tried to keep the watering as simple as possible. We grow in soil. The catch tank is part of the wall infrastructure, and we don't need special rooms or programming centers or anything like that. It really is very easy, very simple. And once you see one and get your hands on it, you really will understand how easy and simple it is to do this. And the modular system. So we run through this modular system here. We've got the catch tanks along the bottom, the rails, the pots and the bags, and the irrigation. That's all supplied for every project. It's standard and the same for every project, and it just comes down to how we configure it together, which makes working with the system really easy for anyone who's done it once before. There's no new skills to learn. It's nice and simple and tight. The irrigation system works like this. So you've got your catch tanks at the bottom. The pump pumps the water up through the top, down through the out of the drippers, and it runs down through each of the pots and back into the catch tank at the bottom. Really simple, but it means that your irrigation system is easy to get to for your maintenance team. If there's an issue with the irrigation, it's really easy to get to. There's no irrigation lines running through the middle of this wall anywhere. And here's a short video. You can click on this and watch this time lapse of this green wall being installed. Really is beautiful. And then back to the system overview. So this is just a schematic of how a typical installation would look. In a new build, we'd have the GC prepare the plywood wall and waterproof it. If it's an existing environment, we'll be going in to an existingly built environment. There might be a dry wall. And what we would do is we would fix a piece of plywood onto the dry wall, connect it to the studs, and you've only got a few holes going into your dry wall, and that board is then a great backdrop to create an extra layer of waterproofing, and easy for us to put all the screws in to hold the rails. We then connect the catch tanks at the bottom. We then put in another layer of waterproofing, which is just a PVC drop sheet that goes behind the rails, but it flows down into the tank so that any water that does run down that back wall is caught in the catch tank. So it really is a fail-safe to make sure that the water is fully contained. We then connect the rails, we connect the irrigation system, and then the plants in their pots and bags are mounted on the wall after that. We provide CAD drawings for any project that needs them. We can provide these as PDFs or as CAD drawings for you to include in your drawing documents. This is an interesting wall, triangle shape. It's going to be, I think it's going to be stunning when it's done, fitting into what was existing as these this frame piece here are part of the structure. They were existing. We've done the CAD drawing to fit in, and the plants will overflow the edges there and look, really amazing and fill that space quite beautifully. We provide templates for doing plant design. We like to do plant design by hand. We find that our designers really like to work like that. Some people like to do it electronically. We provide templates in both with the little honeycombs that you can map out. Gives you an exact plant count. You know exactly what you need and what you need to be delivered on site. And then planting, hanging the plants using the plant guide on site makes the hanging of the plants really quick and easy, and ensures you end up with the design that you aim for. And so, what do you get with the GrowUp modular system? You get that instant effect, and for every client that we've spoken to, there's nothing more important to them than having a beautiful instant green wall. No one wants to wait. No one wants to wait a month for it to grow in once it's on site. They want it to look the way they expected from day one. That's the biggest thing that you get. You get simple and reliable irrigation, works really well, tried and trusted, the same every time, and very cost-effective pricing. So we have never been beaten on price, and our contractors should never be beaten on price. And certainly as a professional grade system, there's no one that really comes close to us. So we're excited about that. And most importantly, what you end up with is a happy client. So with that said, I'm Grant. That's my email address and my phone number. Anything you need Greenwall related, please reach out, give me a call, and I can put you in touch with a local contractor. We can help you spec a project. We can help you with design, or we can design and build it for you. So let us know, and look forward to talking to you. Thanks for listening.